Hi and welcome to Big Fish, the first in a new series from Original Video. We'll be featuring some of the best big fish action over the past 2 years from Europe, including specimen chub, barbel, pike, carp and some giant catfish as well. I'm here in Spain enjoying a bit of a carp fishing holiday. I've been here for a few days now and I've seen some good anglers and I've seen some bad anglers. But one thing's for sure, that on my first day here I was taught a lesson in fish catching by a local Spaniard. Watch for yourself. What a cracking fish that was, a 24-pound mirror carp, and I can tell you that certainly whetted my appetite. I wouldn't mind winding a few of those in myself. But let's take a trip back home now. Not all fish have to be over 20 pounds to be fun to catch. Join me on a winter chub fishing session. I love winter chub fishing, and a £4 plus fish certainly warms the day up. It's getting a bit hotter here now, but let's hot things up even more. Returning to carp, let's go to the south of France and see some of our lads enjoying some really big fish action.
Oh, blimey, don't ever give up. Bloody thing in. This is my first French carp, and it's hard work. I'm giving this a fair bit of stick, my arm's aching. Let's have a look at it.
40, 42.
24.8. 24 and a half. 24 and a half.
Hold on,
First
mate.
French carp. Not the iron reel, was it? I was just changing my rigs over, thinking they were wrong. And what happens?
11.
Tell you what, it felt massive when I first hooked it. It just literally just lunged off very slowly. I couldn't touch it. I was trying to get down the bank at the same time under that tree. I can't quite run off the back.
I think it was tied up for a little while, wasn't it?
Yeah! That's what we call that. If you get on these fish, it's easy. Just getting on them, isn't it? These fish are both caught within about 15 minutes of each other. What French fishing can really be all about. 13 and a half. And 28. Carp sardine sandwich.
Well done.
$23.2.
Look happy. My shadow was on it. I can't get the end of it. Tell me when you've done it.
Don't wake the others up.
£30.6, look at that.
That milk coming out then? Is the milk pouring?
Oh.
Lovely fish.
Back tail pull, so the oar's in the way, that's it.
The third one on top of your head.
$29.2.
29.2.
$29.2.
Backwards, Paul.
And the baby. It's probably going to have most to say.
Yeah, that's a better colour.
It's a nice looking fish.
Can you push the sack down off the other fish, Paul?
With your other head.
20, what's this one? 20?
21 and a half.
21 and a half.
Down a bit.
You know, I love carp fishing on the continent, and when you see big fish like that, it really does whet your appetite. But you don't have to go outside the UK to catch big carp, as Kevin Maddock proves in this next sequence, where he catches a big fish off the surface from his own private lake, Withy Pool. Lucky man. Let's stay with the carp family for this next trip and take a look at some great ooze barbel, starting off with what we believe to be the biggest ever barbel recorded on professional video. This barbel weighs 11 pounds 14 ounces. It's a beautiful fish, and right now I wouldn't swap this for anything in the world. Hope my wife's not watching this, but it's a beauty. Look at that. I'm going to put this fish back now, but I'll tell you what, later in the season you're going to come fishing with me and we're going to fish for fish like this, and I just hope maybe we'll get one this big. And I'm going to put her back now because I think she's pretty tired. Well, as luck would have it, the camera wasn't there to record the capture of that particular fish, but the following day we went out rods in hand and things took a turn of an unexpected nature. Into another barbel. This one took sweet corn. I actually watched the fish come underneath one of the rafts and swim towards the bait. Oh no, I've got a problem. My rod's broken. This should be fun. I'm not going to give up, I'll tell you. Oh. Poor old fish didn't know what's going on. Nor do I. This is a good fish, actually. I think I've completely confused him at the moment. This could be awkward, though. Right, I've got him under the rod stump, such as it is. This is ridiculous. Oh, come out of there. Come out of there. Oh, this is crazy. Come here. Wet feet again. You're going in the net, sunshine. This is a big kipper, this one. Oh, this is the moment of truth for any barbel angler. And I know what you're thinking. Is it a double? And so am I. Because I tell you, if it isn't, it's close. This is a cracking fish. I think I honestly completely disorientated it. Never give up, as my old man said to me. Yo. $9.13.5 according to that. Well, I said to you before that barbel are the most powerful fighting fish, and there's evidence of it. This is what we came fishing for. Nearly 10 pounds, 9 pounds 13.5 ounces of great ooze barbel. Let's turn now to a man who concentrates on breaking records instead of breaking rods. The man is Neville Fickling, pike expert. Let's join him on a trip to Rearwood Reservoir.
Picking the rod up and hitting it fairly quickly, it bent well into it, and I soon realised that I had a decent fish on. But the main problem that we were having at the time was that the wind had just started to get up. It was pushing me well away from the fish. My hands were very cold, so I could hardly hold on to the handle of the reel. So it was all a little bit Mickey Mouse in some ways, but we managed to get the fish up on the top, and it was fighting quite well until it came up on the top. Then it, after just a couple of dashes around, it gave up the ghost. Once in the boat, it was clear that this fish was suffering from what's known as red sore disease. It is not a fatal disease generally, but it does leave an unsightly mark on the side of the fish, and this unfortunate fish had 2 rather red nasty marks on each side of its body. A shame, because otherwise it was a beautiful fish.
You know, Neville's got a very irritating habit of continually catching big pike. In the same video project, he actually went on to fish the notorious Bow Beach reservoir, where he enjoyed considerable success. First of all, let's take a look at another angler with an exceptional fish, and then at Neville himself getting in on the action with a 24-pounder.
Graham and David, the 2 anglers who have just caught this fantastic Bow Beach fish, have been fishing the other reservoir at the same time as myself, with very poor results. They were not doing anything wrong. They were fishing in a sensible manner, but I was lucky and caught some good fish, and they were not. Today, the roles are reversed, and Graham has caught a 31¼ pound pike using exactly the same methods he's been using all week. This just goes to show something that I've always believed. That is, provided the method's right, it's all down to luck, really.
We've got something on. Doesn't feel very big though. It's coming up too easily. Oh God. I wish it wouldn't do that. Oh, we thought it was the bottom when we got the take. It took a lot of convincing to make me think it was a fish, but it was. It was on the floatless tackle, bumped just off the bottom. Right, the moment of truth, we're going to get some idea how big this fish really is when I have to lift it in. It is big. It's just got wrapped up in the net a bit. Oh, crikey. Oh. 24¼ I would say. Fantastic looking trout water fish. Look at the shape of that. I'm a lucky man today.
The third water, which completes our big pike triangle, is the even more infamous Llangdedfedd reservoir in Wales. This water has a history of producing huge pike and currently holds the British record. Neville was there too. In fact, he was in the lead in the race for the hotspot, something which takes place every morning as the grapevine gets buzzing. Well, Neville may have been first to the hotspot, but he certainly wasn't first to the fish. We've got some fish action from Llangdedfedd coming up for you now, and we'll finish the footage with something quite exceptional. 3 £30 plus fish on the bank at the same time.
Keep going until
Turn that one on too.
Right, 32 cents.
I'll just press the halfway down and focus itself that one.
Keep going, right?
Smash it back there.
Well, unfortunately, I'm certainly not in Neville Fickling's league when it comes to pike fishing. But I have had my moments, you know, and one of those came very recently on a day out with pike expert Bob Baldock.
How not to do it.
Oh yeah, that's a good fish.
I'll get the forceps. I've got my forceps.
It's actually dead on 21 pounds.
That £21 pike was caught at Linear Fisheries near Milton Keynes, where Bob works as a bailiff. But let's join Bob in an entirely more exotic location, here in Spain, on the River Ebro.
We should start winning in a minute. Feels a fair old fish. It's typical of these fish, as soon as you hook them, they dash at you and then they start to perform in close. Let's tighten up this a bit. It's just on a standard link-wedged carp. These are really beefy rods, they're 9'6" boat rods, 30-pound line. Oh, yes, he's really holding bottom, typical of these fish. Trouble is, there's the bloody wall just here. Not a wise decision to get here, actually. I'll keep 1 foot back. Just in front of us there.
You in, mate?
Yeah. I've got a few problems because it's coming up in these
Which side of me do you want?
rocks. Can you net it from that side and I'll see if I can bring him round?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Typical of these fish, they come right in and then you have all this hassle in close. Right, you see, the hook all right?
God, I can't see him very well, mate.
No, I'll see if I can get him up a bit. Oh, we ain't having none of that. I'm not quite used to these bloody reels on these.
I'm just pulling it out a little bit till you think she's ready. Is it a good one? Looks a reasonable one, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's not a huge one. It's certainly a 40, I would think. That's
Yeah, it's so awkward here, isn't it?
That's typical of these fish, though, isn't it? To do it all right under the blooming rod.
Yeah.
Shall I?
So you can get the head to the spreader block, Bob. I've got the front end in. Yeah, we got her. Yeah.
Oh, well done, mate.
Well done, mate.
If you just move your finger.
All right, just take one on this. There we go. Try a different pose, because that's the Keith Lambert pose, which
Not very good.
we decided doesn't look so good. I bet you're glad we moved, aren't you?
Yep.
I reckon hold it against your chest, Bob. I know you don't like to get dirty.
No, I'm not going to get it all over me. I've got 3 or 4 bloody days to do yet. Not bad.
And if you thought that was a big catfish, just wait for this next clip. Bob's companion on that trip to Spain was Kevin Maddock, probably better known for his carp fishing exploits. But Kevin's also an expert when it comes to big catfish, and he and Bob travelled even further afield to catch even bigger fish, to the Volga Delta in Russia.
100 pounds.
Oh, hi, very good.
Many problems. About 120 pounds.
Alles wat dat doen.
Well, that catfish weighed 132 pounds, an absolute whacker, and I don't suppose I'm going to catch anything as big as that myself here today. But I'll tell you what, I have had a bit of luck as it happens. Just take a look at this.
I've hooked a fish here that just doesn't want to come in, and with this dodgy hand I'm probably not capable of putting too much pressure on it, but I really don't know how big this fish is. It's not often you get in this situation. I think the question on our minds is this a big one? There is now some intense debate as to the size of this fish. What I at first thought was a mid-double clearly isn't, because I'm now 10 minutes into the fight. I've had the fish probably within 4 or 5 rod lengths, but it's 60, 70 yards out again now, and you can probably hear the line ticking off the spool. I don't know, I just don't know. Minutes, still going. It's definitely a mirror, we've seen it. We don't know how big yet. Oh, it must be 60, 70, 80 yards out. Still going. I just get the feeling that, you know, when I'm winding him in like this and he's coming in, he's just building up a bit of steam, and he's saying, well, this is your turn, I'll just hang on till you get me near the edge and I'll go again. Incredible fish, absolutely incredible. It doesn't actually matter what it weighs, you know, this is what you come fishing for, isn't it? You know. Just past the 1 hour mark now, the fish is on the surface about 20 yards out, clearly a mirror carp, can't tell how big. This is the longest, hardest, most heart-stopping fight I've ever had with a fish in my life. It's going again.
It might be a deeper, heavier fish. No, I've seen it. Don't pull too hard. Only too slow and slow.
Well, it turned out to be my lucky day after all, and I look forward to seeing you for the next edition of Big Fish. Good fishing.